Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video. Now today's episode of Unranked to Diamond is completely different to normal. I really apologise, but this is, I'm going to explain it in a minute, but it's the only way I could have done this episode. So this is the series that I take a Smurf account, fresh account, never played ranked before, and show you the adventure to Diamond. Now the reason that you're getting this game in this perspective, not live, a post commentary, is because the game crashed on me twice while recording. Or not the game, OBS specifically. The software I used to record crashed twice while recording, and that made all the footage corrupt. And I was like, it's only episode 3 of the season and we've already got one corrupted episode. That really sucks. So luckily, I already set up the replay.gg on this account. So I had the replay file ready to go and I thought, okay, let's just try and save this episode 3 and do a post commentary. So if this isn't what you enjoy, I apologize. I'm going to be setting up a different software later on to use as recording, because OBS recently has been really sucky. It's just been awful. Anyway, let's move over the chat and everything. So I'm playing Lee Sin Jungle. We're going to be mainly focusing on me this game as trying to be like a regular episode, but we have the freedom to move around the map with the replay file. At the bottom, I will move everybody in their correct position anyway, so it's Echo Jungle, Syndra Mid, there we go. So we'll try and do this as best we can. I haven't done a post commentary in ages, so I apologise if it's not the best episode, but you gotta work with what you got. And this is pretty much all I've got now, so let's get into it. So I asked my bot lane, and I played this game maybe half an hour ago, so it's very clear in my mind. I asked my bot lane for a smiteless pull. Now, unfortunately, the Thresh was a little bit AFK, so I was like, hey, buddy, keep attacking it, please. And luckily, he did eventually. So I'm asking for a smiteless pull because I had it very clear in my head. I'm going to go invade the Echo. Now, there's a couple reasons why I'm going to go invade the Echo. The first thing is because blue on Lee Sin is kind of useless-ish in the early game. I want red buff, but I wanted to have the help from my bot lane. So I can try and get first blood and red buff in the same, little move. So here's a big tip for you junglers, and I actually want to pause the video right now, and this is where it could be a bit different to a normal episode on Unranked to Diamond. If you are this Echo in this situation and you're doing your red buff, always pull it into the bush. Always be in this bush, or at least ward this bush, because this can happen so many times. So what I do, I let him just get a little bit lower from the red buff. I'm not kind of going straight away, and boom, he's pretty low right now. Let's look for the Q. Let's look for he flashes instantly. I flash after him, get that first blood. Completely fine with using flash. Maybe I could have got without it, but I just do not want to risk it. Anyway, I steal the red buff, I kill, I think... Oh, and here is where the initial corruption began. So you're seeing me right now, I am just completely frozen, do not move. This is number 1 corruption when OBS crashed the first time. It literally froze my entire computer. And then here we go again. So OBS crashed, now playing the game again, and that freeze, by the way, I was frozen myself. That wasn't just me trying to set up OBS again. My computer literally froze. I go over to blue buff, and this is where I try to set up OBS again to start recording. So I'm just doing blue buff. You'll see I will not use any spells on this blue because I'm trying to set up OBS again. Anyway, moving on from that point, I missed the Q randomly, probably just a bit disorientated with trying to get OBS to work. Kill the blue buff, so now I've got first blood, red, and blue. Pretty good start for Lee Sin, and I would say this is a fairly common start for Lee Sin. You can do this yourself, and you can do it on a number of champions. The 2 champions I tend to do this with the most is Lee Sin and Rengar. No surprise there, I wouldn't think. Anyway, while we're back in base, let's look around the map. Both top laners are pretty low at the moment. Riven, Garen is known to be a counter to Riven. We saw in all chat earlier that they were talking to each other and the Garen said he's a Riven main. Anyway, there's a little damage fight going on here. Riven should be able to get the first blood kill in her lane. She does, so that's a pretty good start for her. Echo's doing the blue buff, pretty low from the blue buff, honestly, and now he's going to move up to top lane with being pretty low health. Cho'Gath versus Syndra mid lane, and then finally a severe Thresh versus a Bard Ezreal. They might be looking for a kill themselves. While this is going on, by the way, I'm just doing red buff, so it's not that important to watch. And maybe whip his hair back and forth and gets the kill. Maybe even look for the Ezreal. We'll stay on this fight for now, because it's more interesting than me just doing jungle clear. As you can see, there I am. The Admiral himself. So I clear my red buff, so now I've got 3 buffs out of the 4 first blood kill, and now I'm like, right, I can just look for other stuff. I can look for, you know, a gank somewhere, I can look for an invade, and I do choose to go in the jungle. Now, obviously, I did not know that ward was there. You know, this is a post-commentary, so now I can see that was actually warded. I'm going to go over to the wolves while my bot lane does take down the Ezreal. But anyway, I'm going to do the wolves, smite the wolf, just so I have pure jungle pressure in his jungle. Smiting this wolf and giving you the wolf buff, it creates a little bit of a situation that the enemy jungler doesn't feel safe in their own jungle. If you've ever been jungling and you're like, I can't jungle in my own jungle because there's so much pressure, you know you're in a bad situation. Anyway, I pink ward in this little tri-bush here just to kind of be like, does he have vision or not? And I'm like, right, I want to dive this Garen. I'm only level 4. Usually you don't dive at level 4, but it should be a pretty free gank. Now, the awesome thing, he used Q in the initial little move there. I'm tanking tower. Riven gets the kill easily. Boom. That was like as perfect as it could have gone. Now, if that Garen... I'm not going to say if he was smarter because he couldn't have seen that gank coming. If he queued me instead of the Riven, I probably would have died there, and Riven might have not even got the kill. It was the fact that he used Q straight away on the Riven, and that allowed me to take tower aggro and me to like get the initial damage off and escape like up that way. Riven is level 6 at this time, Garen is level 3, and apparently the Garen is a Smurf. That is one thing the enemy team did say later in this game. I will still say this point. It doesn't matter what rating you are, counters do exist in this game for a very specific reason, but not just counters, experience. You can be a diamond Smurf and you've never played, say, Garen before. Don't play Garen just because you think it's a counter. Always play champions that you are good at and you know how to play. Anyway, while we're moving around the jungle, just see how the map is going on. Cho'Gath's pretty low in mid lane right now. I'm not a massive fan of Cho'Gath myself. I know he's a pretty popular pick in low rating. Anyway, they are looking for another kill on Bard potentially while they're clearing the pink ward. He put himself in a situation to die there by just contesting the pink ward. Just give it up. You know, when you're that far behind, just give it up. Riven is looking for a dive and actually does go down. That's how the tower dive probably should have gone in Garen's favor. Anyway, jungle clearing myself a little bit more. Moving back on the point of Cho'Gath though, he's a very popular pick at low rating. I think because he's a very basic champion to play and people are like, hey, he has good damage, he's easy to play, I'm just going to play him at low rating. I'll be honest, I don't like him. The reason I don't like him is his damage is, say, situational. It's very obvious when the damage is about to come in. Now, I'm looking for a gank on the Syndra myself. Look for the Q, unfortunately miss it. She does dodge over to that side, and I'm still looking for it. Got a flash as a successful gank, and at this point I'm thinking I can potentially still get this kill. Yes, I don't know where Echo is, but I hit the Q, and unfortunately I go for the ward to get in range to the Q, but the Q runs out, so I couldn't get to her. That kind of sucked. It does happen occasionally. But I still got the flash. Getting a flash, getting a summon a spell is still a successful gank in my book. Bottom lane seems to be doing okay with the 3v2 that just happened. I don't even think Echo went into the lane. And this is where me, as a jungler, even though he is ahead in farm right now, in my head, in this game, I literally do not care about farm. There's a dive going in on the Syndra. Riven uses her flash, gets the kill. I go over with the W just to make sure she doesn't die. She does go pretty low. I missed the Q randomly. The walls weren't even up. Garen is potentially looking for a little rotation. He misses out on the pink ward, but everybody should be fine. There is a 3v2 again going on in bot lane, which they should be completely fine again. I'm nearly level 6 at this point, I believe. I don't know. I can check XP. It's down there. So I'm like 1 minion away from level 6. And I think I decide to go over to this camp and literally just kill one of the small ones. I do. I hit level 6 and now I can look for more rotations around the map. Meanwhile, in bot lane, the lane I'm running to any second, they're looking for another engage. They do take down the Echo. The Echo is not having a great game so far, and I'm looking for the kill on Ezreal. So I do a very just basic thing. Whabam! Ward, and then kick him right in the face. I didn't need to do that, but why not? It looked kind of cool. Moving onward and upward. There's not much left to do in bot lane. Potentially could have looked for the Bard, but it's not really worth it. Top lane seems to be going okay. She still is ahead on a lot of farm, and now I'm going to head over to the blue buff, and I think I do end up giving that to Cho'Gath. But like moving back onto the point of the Cho'Gath pick, his damage is obvious when it comes in. If you avoid that big circle, you do not take damage. That type of champion I personally do not enjoy. I much prefer random champions that their damage isn't so obvious. Like Syndra, you don't know where her Q is going to land before she presses the spell or before the damage is coming off. It just happens. Where Cho'Gath is very much like, here's the damage, can you avoid it? And if you can, it doesn't do a lot. That's again why I don't really like Malphite, because it's obvious when his ultimate is coming in. Obviously, there are examples of when these champions can do well. I'm not taking away from that point. It's just personally, I don't enjoy them a lot. Echo does take the blue for himself, which I think is actually a small mistake on his part. He's already 0-2. His mid laner is, yeah, doing not great, but better than him. So I would have put the blue buff on the Cinder to try and help her as much as possible. Riven is overextended right now. She does have a pink ward in the river, but she should be able to get away. Echo should have probably landed the stun a little bit further into the lane and potentially would have got the stun off. I'm going to head over to the red buff myself. I believe I did have vision of when their enemy red buff came up. Cho'Gath potentially is going down. He does go down to the Bard gank. I'm looking at Lee Sin. Maybe I could get something, but then decide, I think, against it. Riven, I don't know what she exactly did, but she, I think, went back in when she knew Echo was around and just died for it. So, you know, Riven players. But yeah, that was unfortunate. So a couple kills go on to the enemy team. That makes the score 9-3. We still have, obviously, advantage while I just take care of the red buff. Let's lock the camera for me for now because I just want to talk about a topic. Every now and then in these type of videos, I like to bring up topics, and the one straight away that I want to bring up is the whole idea of smurfing. Now, I did mention it in the league discussion video I did a couple of days ago. While Severe gets another kill, they are looking for a lot of pressure in bot lane. I did mention it, and, you know, I understand people don't like smurfing, but please take this video and this series for what it is. It is an educational series. I'm not here to poke fun, make fun of, harass, anything like that low-rated people. I am here to point out the differences between high and low rating in an educational way. If that sometimes comes across cockiness or BM, I apologize. It is not my intention. Anyway, going to look for a potential gank and bot lane. They are pretty low, so I just move over for some pressure so they don't die. And potentially even looking for a kill. So yeah, I'm going to go for it. Land the Q, W, and I actually did more damage than I thought. I didn't even need to do the W. It just put me in a safe position, and boom, another kill with the Bard Flash. While this is going on, Echo does rotate over for the Thresh, but we are here to try and save him. Moving for some damage. I did get stunned. Severe flashes for the kill, and now we're moving on for the Ezreal. Good hook landed by Thresh, and there is a double kill for me and Severe. Cho'Gath moves over and goes howdy ho. Oh, we're not needing him. And then I finally go move over for the dragon. Probably. Yes, I do. Meanwhile, in top lane, Riven is now double the CS of Garen, and this is what I mean. This is the point I made earlier. Apparently, this Garen was a Smurf. It literally doesn't matter he's a Smurf if he doesn't know how to play Garen properly. Play champions you know how to play. I think he did say he was a Riven Smurf or a Riven main, but he must know how to play another champion, right? Better than Garen. You know, just because it's a counter doesn't mean you have to play it. Anyway, he might look for the kill. Unfortunately, well, he doesn't. I'm doing a little bit more jungling myself. So the score currently is 14-3. I've been involved in 7 out of these kills, so 50% kill participation so far in the game. Riven is spam pinging top lane when I'm like the other side of the map, so it's kind of pointless spam pinging it. I'm going to do a bit more clearing, and then I believe I will go back. Doing a lot more talking than I usually do in these commentaries, so I do need to take a drink every now and then. But let me know what you think of this type of video, by the way. It was not in my intention to do this type of video in Unranked to Diamond. I just was forced to do it because the video became corrupt. But if you guys, like, occasionally I still want to do Diamond content on my main account, and this is the style that I'll probably do because it enables me to play as well as I can on my Diamond account with then doing the recording later on. Anyway, Riven is potentially getting dove by Echo and Garen. I am pinging like mad to get to me, but unfortunately she does not, and she gets killed by Garen ultimate. The kick doesn't take Garen down, but I'm going to continue trying to get both of them. One auto attack to go, but then he flashes away, unfortunately for me, and I don't think I'll end up getting the kill. They take down Syndra in mid lane with Severe being extremely low. Honest probably got ulted by her. And this is where I get a bit greedy. Obviously, I did not know this ward was here, so Echo knows I'm on my way. Echo knows I'm coming. I'm looking for the Q and then potentially just get out really quick, but he knew I was coming, so he could prepare for it. They kill Bard in mid lane, pretty easy kill. Severe got ignited, but it did not kill her. Riven teleported onto the ward that I put here, and then ends up Garen teleports to the tower as well. So this is a tricky situation. Right now in my mind I'm thinking I could go for the Echo if I land the Q while there's a little fight going on with Garen and Riven. I missed my Q, and that's one thing to say. In this game I did not do very well with landing Qs. My team collapsed, and that's why I didn't fully engage because there was no point to. Cho'Gath lands a Q, and then we end up killing both of them. Someone ignited the Garen, which I don't know why. He was 100% dead. I think who landed... Thresh ignited the Garen. You did not need to ignite the Garen. He was 100% dead. May as well save the summoner. But at this point in the game, I'm currently 604 and the Severe on my team is 607. So 2 of the good carries in this game are, haven't died yet and have a lot of kills. So this game is looking pretty good for us at this point. Enemy team, the Echo's had a rough game. Getting invaded at his own red at level 2 and then getting killed and his red taken away. That is a very hard thing to come back from. I will say some of his decisions have led to him not doing great, mainly, ganking lanes that he's just run in and died. I think that happened in bot lane twice. It's a rough situation. Anyway, doing blue buff again, gonna give it to the Cho'Gath if he does walk over. It's not the end of the world if I take it, but I do want to give it to him because it's not that useful on Lee Sin. He does march his way over and takes it. There we go. And you'll notice my build, if we move over to the builds, Riven does go down, and that is actually a common occurrence for the rest of the game. She does overextend quite a lot. I'm moving over for the Bard, looking for the kill, go through the tunnel myself, and continue going for it. Anyway, talking about the build, like I was mentioning, hit the Q, go for the kill. I just land the kick on him because I may as well. I've gone for the Warrior. I missed the Q again. I go for the Warrior. Cho'Gath is looking for the kill with the knock-up. There we go. Go for the Warrior. Go for mobility boots. I actually prefer mobility boots a lot of the time than Swifties on Lee because I just want to get around the map as quick as possible. And on Lee Sin, it doesn't matter if I get slowed or anything because I'll be dead anyway. So I just go for as much movement speed as possible. Now the Vampiric Scepter is moving into the Vampiric Hydra, or whatever it's called, Titanic Hydra, something like that. It's an item that I do like on Lee Sin, it's just an item that I normally don't build on Lee Sin. And this is where the difference between high rating and low rating, just me as a personal player, is going to come in this series. In high rating, I would never build the way that I am currently. I'd go tankier, I'd potentially go like a Dead Man second or something. Like that tanky on Lee Sin is what you need to do in order to be useful on Lee most of the time. Because everybody knows that high rating Lee Sin is such a squishy champion that if you silence him with a Garen, for example, we can kill him instantly. Where at this rating, I'm hoping that they have a little bit less coordination to do that, which enables me to build more damage. Stuff is happening around the map. Severe gets a double kill. Sorry, I missed a little bit of a fight. She does get taken down eventually by the Syndra. While this is going on, I decide just to push the mid lane a little bit, and Garen goes against me. Now, this Garen might be thinking that he could take me, both level 10, but what he doesn't take in consideration is my damage is really high. I move him away from his tower so he can't get away, and miss Bard ult with a Q. Not extremely hard to do. And then finally end up with the kill. There we go. Legendary is now the score for me. So yeah, Thresh was around. That also gave me the confidence to go in on the Garen. Would I have killed him if the Thresh wasn't there? Probably. The damage was pretty high. Unfortunately, I took the Lantern without killing the final one, so that delayed me a little bit. I think I'm going to move over to get the Worlds just for a little bit of extra gold. But let's look into the gold while we're talking about that. So in total, the Severe has the most in the game. Obviously, she is farming more than me. That's where a lot of the gold comes from in the game. And that's one thing I want to actually say. Focused on last hitting if you are low rated. It's a massive point. The majority of the gold that you get in an average game of League of Legends comes from last hitting minions. It doesn't come from kills. It doesn't come from objectives. It comes from last hitting minions. And that's where we can see in this game. But you can also see it's 17 minutes in the game. It's a pretty low CS game. We've got, I think, 4 people above 100 CS. Riven is nearly there, and Garen is 63. So, focus on last hits. Now, again, this Garen apparently was a Smurf. I don't know if he was. Some people just say that to try and, I don't know, big themselves up. I'm not sure. But, yeah, just focus on last hitting. You know, if you go into a game of League of Legends, just be like, right, I'm just going to last hit a lot. Again, I missed my Q. Was awful at landing that this game. Thresh flashes over, which, again, he didn't need to do. This Thresh has wasted his summoner spells a few times this game when he just doesn't need to. He ignited the Garen in one situation, then he just flashed over the wall. You don't need to. They're 100% dead. But yeah, moving more into the gold. 9,000 gold for Severe, 8.6 thousand gold for me, which is pretty good as a jungler that's not farming a lot. I miss my Q again, so that we've got the pattern of today's game. I kick over there thinking that I'd get the kill. Severe does flash into the damage, and she does end up getting the Garen. I W onto her to try and save her. She heals herself also, and this is where I go kind of crazy. Use the Tiamat Hydra thingy to get the kill on the Bard, double kill, and then finally the triple kill. So we're in their base 18, 19 minutes. So yeah, a lot of confidence is going out of me right now, and this is where it sucks that I unfortunately didn't have, or the footage became corrupt, because, you know, I think it was a pretty good commentary overall. But, you know, nonetheless, I couldn't use it. Now this is where Ezra starts asking, am I a Smurf? Now if you watched last season's Unranked to Diamond, you'll know I do not answer them type of questions, because, you know, the least thing I need is someone shouting in all chat about Smurfs. You know, I understand people dislike them, and it sucks for, say, this Ezra that's going to lose a game for it, but I don't need that type of thing in all chat. So I just kind of ignore that type of question. And again, like in the league discussion video I did recently talking about Smurfing, I always kind of think that, you know, the positive outweighs the negative. I'm probably only ever going to meet this Ezreal, this Echo, Syndra, Bard, and, you know, etc. in solo queue once. They are only going to lose one game to me, where I get to educate thousands of people in return. So I think it's worth it. Now you can see Ezreal saying that the Garen is a Smurf too. Now that could have been sarcastic. Maybe I'm not seeing the sarcasm in that comment, but you never know. Anyway, the game is probably moving into its closing stages soon. We can kind of tell that by the timeline going on here, if that is correct. Let's just focus me a bit more. Let's go into the item build. So we have a warrior, we've got the Ravenous Hydra finished, and now we're starting to move, I believe, into the Black Cleaver. I do like that item quite a bit. I'm going to run to top lane because my team does want to do Baron, but I don't want to do Baron when there's 2 people in top lane randomly. So I move on over. So I'm going to queue onto him, straight onto the Ezreal, and start doing damage to him. My team is here to support me. That's why I was confident enough to just start going for the damage. I unfortunately thought that the kick would have landed onto the Ezreal. Now we collapse 3 of us onto him. Another kill for me, 1306. I thought Riven potentially could get the Ezreal, but he does manage to run away. And this is where in any second you'll see we're going to go for the Baron. And Ezreal gets executed. And any second, and wait for it. Boom. I think right there is where I am now crashed once again. So you'll notice I'm not using any spells while doing this Baron, is because OBS crashed for the 2nd time this game, just freezing my computer. I can't do anything. Now I'm back in the game, start to move around, and I didn't even get the flash because I was like, oh, I can move again. I don't know what was going on. I think it's something to do with OBS, or it's something to do with my graphics driver. I did update it last night. But before I record next episode of Unranked to Diamond, I'm going to sort that out. Anyway, I go back again. This is where I'm trying to set OBS for the 3rd time this game, and this is where the recording, I think, now begins for the end of the game. I think I'll use the footage, if it did record properly, while Ezreal does go down extremely weak at the moment, being 110. I think I will use the footage for the outro of the commentary, if that did record properly. Anyway, my team is looking for the base tower. And this is where one thing to say. This Riven's attitude. I don't play seriously. I don't care in real. I actually was typing to this Riven going, if you don't care, if you're not playing seriously, don't play ranked. Like, I hate this type of person that says, I'm not playing seriously. If you're entering ranked, you should be tryharding. Now, in the comment section again of the videos, last 2 episodes, people are going, hey, Huzz, why don't you just not try as hard in placement so you might get bronze? If you're not going into ranked tryharding, don't play ranked. The whole point of ranked is to try as much as possible. I get another kill onto the Syndra, going for the Garen kill, and bang, I just get the kick on him because I'm like, I just want you to die. I can't be bothered to chase you around the map. Getting 1 inhibitor, probably getting the 2nd inhibitor with Severe. And this is what I mean. Cho'Gath hasn't really done a lot this game, but that's pretty much Cho'Gath in a nutshell for me. I don't like Cho'Gath as a champion because a lot of the time he's not needed. Now that is, yeah, obviously because I'm very fed and my Severe's very fed, but still, I just don't find him as an extremely useful champion. We're moving on to the base towers to try and end the game. Just looking for the last hits on them. And yeah, pretty much that's going to be game. So, sorry again for this type of video. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. I had to just use what I had. I didn't want to die because our current score is 1507. And we're going to end the game. So I'm going to flip it over to the other footage if it did record properly. And that's going to be it. So we went 1507. We got 12.5k gold. Second most in the game due to probably farm from Severe. She also had 10 kills herself. We got a solid S. And then damage done. We did the 2nd most damage as Jungle Lee Sin. So yeah, I really apologize for this game. I have no idea what happened. It froze twice. Literally just died after I killed him at red buff, and then just randomly around Baron it died again. So I'm gonna try and see if the graphics drivers are having problems and stuff and update those before I record another episode. So hopefully this episode was okay. Apologies, but that's gonna do it. So like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.